Okay, we are live, I guess. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the node.js security working group. Before I start, does anyone have an announcement? I don't think so, right? So we were talking about going directly to the feature request, the issue 467, just to mention that we remove it from the agenda because it seems a feature request and the author is not joining to the working group to discuss and show his point of view. So instead of letting it stale, I will just remove from the agenda and let it open. Okay. So let me comment on the issue. It seems a feature request. Feel free to join to the security working group to share your point of view. Honestly, I see it overlapping well. Permission model. Okay, just remove it from the agenda. Okay. First thing that we need to do actually before the issues is going to the Node.js dependency vulnerability assessment. Unfortunately, Facundo is not available today to make the call, but looks like we have just one issue opened, that is the CV for npm on Node.js 14. It seems a false positive. Mostly because the way that the npm disclosure their CVEs, so you're discussing about it. So yeah, no further updates. Okay, let me just mark it as conclude. Let me see. I think someone is trying to join. No. Okay. The next one is the Node.js best practice document. That's good news. It was merged. It's available. I just shared a tweet about it. So I will close it as completed. Well done, everybody. Thank you. And awesome. Let me comment here. So the next one is the threat model. Also, pull request open. And I think I don't have any approval there from the Node.js security working group. So I recommend, I mean, if you have some time, please review it. I will request the reviewers from Ulysses. I don't actually, you are not available in the reviewers because we are not a member yet. So let me just pass the pull request in the chat. Please take a look and approve if you agree. The TSC is also discussing this pull request, but no objection so far. Request open.
Yeah, I already looked into this pull request. It looks good to me. I'll just say.
Okay, great. Waiting TSC review.
Yeah, I posted my review too. I forgot to do it, but yeah, I reviewed already. But yeah, so
yeah, you built it actually.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a tricky review. Yeah.
Yeah. It's very biased, right?
Yeah.
So the next one is the issue 791 permission model. Basically, I have been working on that, but since I have so many responsibilities in the past weeks, considering the major release, security release, a bunch of HackerOne reports, I had no time, honestly, to work on that. I mean, I have something very, very good. I just need to make it work with some edge cases, but hopefully next month, next year, next 2 years, it will be done. But yeah, no progress from the last meeting. No progress from the last meeting. And that one, let me just pass the comment. In the it seems a feature request with all right. So we don't have more items in the agenda, but I would like to suggest I'll be just to inform actually, I'll be creating a new issue in the next week or tomorrow, I don't know, about new ideas, new initiatives for the Node.js security. What's the future of Node.js security? It was supposed to be in the Node.js Collab Summit, but we discussed a lot about the permission model and we had no time to discuss the future. And well, basically, if you have an idea or if you have like a big picture of Node.js security and what is the pitfalls, well, what is the flaws that we can attack, and what do you think that would be great to the ecosystem, feel free to create an issue. Actually, we can create, I will create the root issue and we can just throw ideas like a brainstorming that issue. And if we select one as a good one, we create a new issue for that. But basically is this, really would love to see more ideas. I have some ideas, some ideas to throw, but I still think that we are, the security is not, is miles away from the expected, from a good security overview from runtimes, JavaScript runtimes, you know. So we have one more attendee. I think it's Michael. Let me just inform him. I love how Zoom is very fast.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime,
I think it's because he's using the same user as me.
oh, that can be, yeah.
Okay, now it's gone.
Yeah.
It's
By
collapsing
the way,
two users.
yeah, let me give you some quick update on like I don't know if you heard about the performance team. Like I created an issue about it, but apparently I received some feedback from 6-7 people, and I'm thinking about having a meeting next Monday. I don't know if Rafael, if you're joining it, but if you're joining it, can you help me set up Zoom and those kinds of things, because I don't think I will have permission.
Yeah, I can.
Before that date. Yeah. Are you going to join?
I need to check the time because I will perform the Node.js 19.1 release.
Okay.
But let me know on the Slack.
Yeah, Ulysses, and if you want to join, like, you're always welcome.
I will.
Link.
Hey, Michael.
I can.
Hello.
The link.
Michael, just a quick
Fantastic.
update. We went through all the open issues.
Okay.
Basically, most of them is pull request open, waiting reviews, and no progress from the permission model so far. And I told the team that I will be creating a new issue between tomorrow and next week about the future or new initiatives for the Node.js security. Basically, since we are almost finishing the current ones, I think we need to have like kind of summit or just a brainstorming. And my idea is, okay, I create the issue and someone throw ideas in the like a brainstorming asynchronous in the issue, and then in the next meeting we select one or two and discuss around that, and perhaps we select one as a future initiative for Node.js security. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm just gonna add the one I'll pitch, I think, is this one, which is the automating the updates of all the dependencies.
Yeah, great.
I think that's a good one. It didn't go to the right. All panelists. We'll send panelists. This one. Anyway, I think that's a good one to consider because
yeah,
I think the brainstorm and getting a list, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and also we went through the vulnerability assessments, and there's just one issue open that is not flagged as does not affect Node.js. That is the NPM one.
Yep.
I think that's a false positive, right?
It was a little unclear, which is why I haven't tagged it. It was kind of like most likely a false positive, but we'll have to look at it more closely.
Yeah, because the way that I understand Facundo answer is basically because the NPM disclosure, their CV is like different the way that we expect, right?
Yeah, well, that was like, I mean, Darcy had taken a look at it and his comment, which one was it? Sorry. This one. So we're talking about 39134, right?
Oh, I was talking about 3517.
Right, okay. Well, that one, it's like, I think looking at it, the version that so Minimatch 3.04 is in fact in Node 14.
Yep.
So it's almost like, why didn't we get that vulnerability report as opposed, and so that's where there's a bit of a discussion. Like I for some reason I thought we were doing like a recursive search.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
it seems like we're not doing a recursive search. We're like searching against NPM. And so like from the list that Facundo has put there, like I guess when people report CVEs, they can tag it against like not just the module itself, but also other things they know it's affected. But I'm kind of like, I'm not sure that that's actually gonna, that's easy to not know, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna tag Minimus, but I don't know all of everybody who uses it. And in this case, they tag Node, but not NPM, right? So we search for NPM.
Yeah, but we don't.
And it should have been tagged for
NPM.
NPM. So I'm thinking two things. One, we should probably search recursively to make sure we're more exhaustive. Like if this isn't all, because it seems like that's an easy mistake to make, right? Like, hey, I don't know everybody. It's all the subdependencies.
Yeah, but the problem is that I see, for instance, if we search recursively and let's say NPM gets updated and include a new dependency that might be malicious or contains a CVE, we are basically saying that, okay, never mind that, we can assess it just by checking the version that we use. Yeah, I
we
think
would have to check for a particular, like a specific version of that dependency.
Yeah. What was the Facundo answer for that? Like to include it?
I think we're still discussing, like he explained how it worked. And so I was just making some suggestions, like maybe we want to look at doing something recursive, or the other thing too is I wonder if we should just add in node.js, right? Because right now we'll get things that are publicly tagged against our dependencies, but this is a case where it's not tagged against our dependencies, but it's actually tagged against Node. So we probably want to know that too. So I expect that's actually that's an easy thing to do, right? If we just add something else to the
Yeah,
list.
I mean, so far I don't see any issue. I just we are probably missing something, but
Yeah. So like if we added that with this one would have popped up and we could have discussed it. Maybe we should do something recursive. And then on this specific issue itself, the question is, what do we do? Because I think, so
yeah,
we're asking, like, I think in here I did, the hope is like we can get NPM to help us complete the assessment that says,
yeah, that's my
doesn't
my
matter,
concern.
or we'll do an update. I wonder, like, at some point, maybe we should just patch it ourselves to 3.5. Like there is a 3.0.5, which I think was specifically done to address this vulnerability.
Yeah.
Do we consider just patching it ourselves? That's maybe something to consider as well.
Yeah, I'm not quite. I'm not sure. The thing is, like, the problem with recursively using it recursively is that it's not an assessment if Node.js is affected by it or not. Is if the NPM is affected by it, and then we need to check if Node.js is affected. Is the second layer, right? So we really need the Node.js folks to understand about it.
Yeah, that's why with the hope is like, you know, if it actually, the hope would be we can get NPM who should be better positioned to be able to tell us is NPM affected or not, right?
Yeah.
But the challenge is these are public, scanners are reporting them. And so like that one in particular, there was like somebody using Node who said, oh, by the way, I get this report against Node. So just because it's in one of our dependencies, I don't think we can wash our hands and say, sorry, we don't know anything about it, because we as a project have pulled in that dependency.
Yeah.
And the people have to deal with it. So you know, it's of course balanced by how much work, but like in this case, we could look at it and say, well, like, I think first thing should always be, can we get some help from the maintainers of the dependency? If yes, if not, then it's back to what do we do in the project? I know, like, say, for example, in V8, they don't support past 6 months. So it's kind of on us.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
NPM
makes
could
sense.
say, no, we don't support an old version. In the end, it comes down to like, well, that may influence what we include in the project going forward or not, right? Like if we had 1 million vulnerabilities and we could never fix them in a dependency, we might have to choose to say, well, let's switch to some other dependency.
I'm just wondering. I mean, I know that we ship NPM as our package as well,
Yeah.
but I don't see how a NPM vulnerability can be considered a Node.js vulnerability too. I mean, I think
because
too
we
much.
ship NPM and we include the binary as something we say you can run.
Yeah, but we still say that this is not copyright by Node.js. It's a different company, right?
It's,
Yeah, but
I
like,
mean, all of our dependencies, go ahead.
yeah, so like when we're including it in our binary, we take the responsibility of distributing it, which makes our responsibility to take care of the security risks, even though we're not managing it. I think that's the perspective that comes into this discussion.
Yeah, I see your point. The thing is, when we say that we are responsible for something because we are shipping it in a different binary, is not in the Node.js binary, just to make sure, is a different binary. We need to be a part of NPM security, but we are not. It's just a black box for us, you know? Like we are responsible because we are just shipping it, but we don't have any idea how it works. We can't help because it's behind the company. That's the thing that I'm telling, you know.
I totally agree, but the main reason, in order to solve this problem, we introduced NPM contributors and collaborators into the Node.js foundation, right? Not foundation, but the organization,
to the project,
right? In order to solve this problem, yeah. So if we still kind of feel that way towards NPM, then there's something wrong with in the organization level, not in the application or like the security level.
Yeah, but how do we guarantee, let's say, NPM folks will help us in that given time?
We can't right now.
We
Yeah.
can't, yeah.
It's I think like this is a challenge, and you're right that this is a little different than some other dependencies which we like bundle in directly.
Yeah, like OpenSSL. The OpenSSL is like if you use crypto module on Node.js, so you will be affected. But NPM is a different binary. You can install it without, like building from the
Right,
source.
and we have similar challenges with like just Semver major changes, right? Like NPM is like, hey, we want to ship, there's an issue around adding 9 to version 18, and we're like, yeah, but it's effectively part of our Semver, and so no, we don't want that because it's Semver breaking, right? It's a similar, I guess it's worth a conversation, because we can't sort of like, I think we would have to make a statement that says like, we ship this binary as a convenience only. We will not take security vulnerability reports. And then even if we did that, then it's like, well, okay, what do we tell people the scanners are going to say NPM is part of Node, and therefore, here's a vulnerability on Node, right? And there's a little bit of an argument, because if we've shipped it, people use it by default.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, like, I mean, I can really agree with both sides, honestly.
Yeah, right,
but,
right, yes.
But the thing is, I'm just a bit afraid to include NPM recursively, and it increase the overhead of our reviews, because one thing is to see if OpenSSL affect Node.js or not. Other thing is see if minimist affect NPM that affect Node.js, And I know that we will probably ask for NPM folks to help on it, but if they don't, like, if we don't receive an answer in a given time, because right now it's just Clark, Mark, I don't know who answers.
So yeah, so can I just summarize the situation in like from a third person perspective? So the thing is, we are including a binary of a product of a company, and we are encouraging them, and we are we enable them eventually, right? So the only kind of request that we want from Node.js project is that to respond timely on security levels. So if this simple requirement is not fulfilled in the given time, then why don't we talk about shipping and like with a Node version without NPM?
We had that discussion.
Or security-centric people.
Yeah, we had, I remember I saw, I don't know, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, a discussion about removing NPM from our binaries. And like, if you want NPM, we install it by NPM side. Like NVM will still work, but it's like different. And I think we can just resurrect that discussion in case NPM folks don't say anything. But I just saying, like, I think a good approach would be, okay, implement it recursively, make it test it, see how it goes. If we get overwhelmed without answers, and we can just resurrect that discussion, and that's all.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, it's worth, because the NPM is where we get the most questions from people running their scanners and running all sorts of things. Like, I get them, like our team who rebuilds Node, it's like, hey, we've got them reported to us. And then like to this one there was like another company who said, hey, I ran this other scanner and like this was reported. And over the years, NPM is the one, because of all the dependencies, that we've had most of these reports. And a lot, like, I think if we spent the time to look at this one, again, it's a very high likelihood that it doesn't apply, it doesn't matter. But the challenge is people's scanners run and report things, and in absence of info, it's going to come back to, because we ship it. I think it's back to the earlier comment. Like once we ship it, we do in fact, I think, assume some sort of, we try not to make it breaking for similar reasons, right? Like we know people are using it because we ship it, and it's still an interesting conversation to see, like, could we get to a point where it's basically like we ship it by convenience, but we take no responsibility for it? Is there a path that makes any sense, right?
Yeah. Agree.
I kind of like, it almost seems like the world is going the other way though, right? Like there's more push for like software bill of materials so that you well document exactly everything that you pull in, and then people can sort of trace that. And so I think it's more like they're hoping people take more responsibility for their dependencies and fixing things in them, and if they need to be updated, getting them updated. The challenges for us is like we have a good solid LTS cycle, which I think is what users need, not customers, but users need. But then if our dependencies don't support that, what do we do, right? Because that's a little bit of what's going on here, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the same as security expectations discussion. We do it in a test, like 6 months of test.
Yeah.
In 6 months, we review it and see, okay, it's good or it's not, let's revert or not. I think that's a good approach.
Yeah, because I think being aware of them is always better than ad hoc. Like what I like about this repo is it's now a place where we can like mention people and we can try and get help. And if people are saying, well, what about this? You can say, well, here's a place where there's a discussion, versus like in the past, I always had to send an email back to somebody saying, well, we haven't heard about that one yet, but I'll ask the NPM people. And it was much more ad hoc behind the scenes. This is transparent. Since the vulnerabilities are already public, us having them, like even if we had them pop up here, but we tag them as like, not in our scope or something, right? Like that would be that would at least be a place to answer people's questions about them, because we're going to get those questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's great. Yeah.
And hopefully only have somebody figure it out once. Because like I said, I think a bunch of these are probably, like a lot of them are like, I think this latest one, again, it's a RDOS type one, right? And it's in some module somewhere you're running NPM is, I don't know. My gut feel is likely isn't going to really be something you would be too worried about, but how is somebody supposed to figure out and know that?
Yeah. All right. I think that we concluded that discussion and all the others from the agenda. As I said, I will create the issue. So if you have an idea, feel free to include that. I have 2 on mine, and let's see how it works. Hopefully, I see you all in 2 weeks. Let me see one thing up, by the way, because I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it. Okay, 24. Yes, I'll be able to do it. It's a Brazil game, but let's see.
Okay, gotta put the priorities in the right place, right?
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, guys, see you. Thank you, everybody.
See you.
Talk to you
Have a
later.